Have you ever said yes at work and the moment you said it, you regretted it because you saw your authority dropped? Something dangerous happened. Your coworkers now know that they can push past your boundaries and you'll take it. I'm Hadi. I spent the past 20 years in leadership roles across different industries when I saw this exact pattern derail some of the strong leaders. And in this video today, I'm going to explain, using real research, the hidden psychological mistake that can turn some of the strong, nice leaders into invisible ones. And stick to the end because I'm going to provide a word-by-word script on how to say no guilt-free and without damaging your relationships. Let's talk about our favorite character, Manager Mike. Manager Mike is nice. He hates conflict. So when someone come and ask him a favor, he wanna say no, but he doesn't because he thinks that yes and that accommodation will build trust. While if he says no, people would think that he's a difficult person. And as managers, when we say yes to things that we shouldn't, we don't just impact ourselves. It's not just us staying late at night. It's our whole team that's gonna get impacted. Then the day after, someone else comes and asks another favor very similar to the one for the previous day from Mike. And he says no, because he literally has no time left. Now that makes Mike unpredictable. And research consistently shows that people don't react negatively to boundaries. They react negatively to ambiguity. That ambiguity that you're creating, saying yes sometimes, saying no sometimes, to the same similar situation with no rules, that would create a lot of anxiety, not in your team, but also people around you, because you're being unpredictable. So how do effective leaders say no without becoming the villains? They don't necessarily use charisma. They don't rely on fear. What they do is they use 3 levers that consistently show in data: predictability, role anchoring, and the one-time rule. Notice what's missing from here: accommodation, endless availability. Because that endless availability, even though you want to build that trust, it's not building the trust. You're just being more likable, probably. And that like and trust are really impacting and activating different part of the brain. You probably have a friend that you like, but you don't necessarily trust. It's because they're not related. Rule number 1 is consistency over niceness. Basically, this is about predictability. If you act like Manager Mike, some days yes, some days no, never explain, you're being perceived as unfair. Research shows that managers that consistently say no to a certain situation are being perceived and seen as trustworthy. Why? Because they're legible. Your team rather know where the wall is than try to guess it every day, unsuccessfully most probably. Let me know in the comments if you struggle with saying no. Rule number 2, the role anchor, the secret weapon. This rule will save you 10 hours of anxiety every week. When Manager Mike says no, he makes it personal. He says, "I'm so sorry guys, I can't support you right now, I'm too busy." Credible leaders anchor that no to the role, not to themselves. And that removes emotions completely out of the formula. So let's flip the script. Instead of saying, "I don't have time," say, "In my role as director, my priority for this quarter is X, so I can support Y." Instead of "I can't do that," say, "That falls outside the scope of this position." You see the difference? It's not you rejecting the request, it's the role rejecting the request. Now, this next rule is my favorite one. I wish I could use it for my toddler. The one-time explanation. Rule number 3 is where most nice leaders fail. They explain their boundary and why they're saying no, then they re-explain it, then they apologize, then they negotiate. And what research shows is that when you keep explaining and re-explaining your boundary, it really ruins your perceived authority and confidence. That re-explaining in general, not just for your boundary, but in general, that over-explaining signals insecurity. So instead of that, explain your boundary once, clearly, calmly. And then you don't need to re-explain it, just silent. That silence isn't rude, it's confidence. Now let's make this practical. Screenshot this. Instead of saying, I'll try to make it work, say, I'm staying consistent on this so expectations remain clear. Instead of saying, I'm really swamped, say, my role requires me to protect time for project X. Instead of saying, I can't do that, explain, that's outside the scope of what I can support right now. Boundaries don't make you difficult. They make you legible. Your team cannot follow what they can't predict. So don't be Manager Mike. Be the leader who creates safety through clarity. And if you want to stand out as a leader, watch this next video when it talks about one trait that every respected leader shares.